Beautiful. Hi there, everyone. This is Jens Edgren in my basement. I want to talk about something that bothers me a lot. And to go straight to the bullet, I see salespeople, including myself, struggle with deals that are not moving. I call it a fake pipeline. Just imagine that you have this great pipeline, you got this silver bullet deals, you got the white whales, you got everything in there, and nothing is moving. And you talk to your champion, you try to get the deal moving, you ask the questions, you call them, you have the demos, you do the proposals, you revise the proposals, but nothing is happen. And for every time you're trying to get some progress, there's this waiting for the boss to say something. The boss is never present. The meeting with the boss is canceled and moved into the future. And finally you may get the blow. Well, thank you so much, Jens. We decided to either go with another vendor, do it ourselves, or simply postpone it till better times. Now, as you all know, we live in turbulent times, and I can say it's been turbulent times ever since I started back in 1989, unbelievably 37 years ago. Then we had the crisis about financial. Then there was this crisis. There's always a crisis going on somewhere in the world, just a different nature. So, and that creates a fearful perception of business. Still, it seems like we are still in the business of doing whatever we do. Buses are running and trains are running, and whatever is happening is happening. So we have to find ways of getting the deal closed, and we have to find ways of getting to the people who can actually say, let's do it. All right. The first thing on my right hand here, I have the champions, the stakeholders. They love you. They love your solution. They know the details. They want to do business with you. Okay. And for them, you are the only option. On the other hand, in the organization, let's take the left hand just as an example. We have people called economic buyer. Those are the people who will say, we'll do it and we'll prioritize that. Now, think about an emergency. Think about a cyber threat or maybe even a cyber attack in your company. Think about who in your company would say, let's put all the IT projects on the side. Let's spend all our money and all our focus solving this problem. Think about that person who would say, yeah, I understand. Let's just clear all my agenda. Let's focus on this problem. We need to get it sorted before weekend. That's the economic buyer who make that decision. And I want you and I want me to talk to these people, talk with them about things that matters. And in this video, I'm going to share some ideas how to do that. So when you talk to your champion, you need to talk about details. You need to talk about their everyday life. It might be processes, it might be scheduling, it might be systems, it might be, operational issues. And maybe you have a solution that will help them to do more faster. Okay. Less hours spent, higher precision in data, maybe data driven decisions, maybe more energy efficient buildings. It doesn't matter what it is, but those things are operational. All right. And they need that because that's their everyday life. And they think it's worth it because it could make their work so much easier and more valuable. On the other hand, we have the CEO. All right. And the CEO's job is to make sure that the company and the organization's resources are spent where value is created, maximum value. Of course, the CEO could be led astray in doing some pet projects or, maybe seduced by the market or analyst and do something that's really, not valuable, but they believe that the stuff they do provide value to the organization. If it's a noted company, to the shareholders, okay, to some extent to the employees, not too much though, but a little bit, right? So here's the difference. We got the operational issues and then we got the value perspective. Think about two different pitches. One pitch where you pitch the operational solution, and one pitch where you pitch the value solution. Hey, you're going to save time, you're going to save money, you're going to make your operation more efficient, you're going to increase your profit margin. So these perspectives, of course, are solved by your solution. But when you meet champions, you need to talk about operational stuff. When you meet CEOs, you need to talk about the value side. So the key here is to get these two people or the five people or whatever into the same room. It used to be a physical room where you sit opposite each other. And if you do that, I will recommend you to sit on the short side of the table. So you have your champion on your right side and your CEO on your left side. Okay. And you can actually position them like that if you want to. Hey, I want you to be on that side. I want you to be on that. I've done that several times. Pretty funny, actually. All right. And then you sit in the middle like you were a mentor and you are actually mentoring between the operational stuff and the management stuff. If today's society, 90% of these meetings going to happen virtually, then it becomes much easier because the CEO might be in Boston and the operational manager or the champion might be in Helsinki. I don't know. They might be in the same office, different rooms. They might be in the same room, different computers, right? Then it's so much easier. All right, who's going to sell to who? Well, this your operational manager is going to sell to the CEO, but that person cannot talk the same language as the CEO. If so, he or she would be the CEO, right? And the other way around. So you need to help your champion with a 60-second pitch or maybe one slider. Why this project will increase profitability, save money, increase revenue, and avoid risks. The three factors. Save money, make money, and avoid risks. Why this project with Jens gonna save money, make money, and avoid risk. And then you need to help, and here's where you come in, to secure that there's a value dimension. So by investing 500K, you're gonna make 1 million more. So that's the drama here, all right? And then you can just wait and see what happens. And some CEOs, like high level red personality, they will say, okay, I trust you. I've been doing many businesses in Finland where Pekka says to Matti, I trust you, go do that. Deal closed. In Germany, more details. In Norway, more politics. In Denmark, CEO goes immediately to negotiation. In Sweden, consensus. We all need to say the same thing at the same time, all shake hands. It's fantastically good process. Implementation goes easier. All right. Now, the second thing is to get there. Okay. So I coach a lot of salespeople and I always ask them the question, have you met the economic buyer? And they say, not yet. I can't because, or my champion won't let me or whatever. And honest to God, or whatever you believe in, if you haven't met the economic and shake their hands or watch their eyes in the call, you cannot take the deal to the forecast. Don't take any sales deals to the sales forecast, unless you talk to and seen the economic buyer by yourself. If your CEO has great connection with economic buyer, that counts, right? But ideally, you want to talk to that person yourself because we don't know what's going on in the organization. We have no clue. I even, closed deals with companies, waited for the money to be paid because somewhere the economic buyer was not involved and he has to sign the contract. Did not sign the contract. I did not get paid even if I delivered. So today that's so critical is that either you saw and talked to the economic buyer or not. All right. So there are 3 points in any sales cycle where you can get in touch with the economic buyer. 3 steps. Early stage. Thank you, champion, for having this great conversation. Would it make sense to talk to the leadership team at this point in time? Because of my experience, if we can get them involved, deal's going to go so much faster and it's going to actually happen. Mid-cycle. You spend a lot of time maybe on pre-sales, demo stuff, met them several times. Now, before we spend more time together, would it make sense to anchor the decision so we can use our time and precision to do whatever is needed to secure this deal? Last stage, you sent the proposal, it's hanging on the wall, it's waiting for management approval, nothing happening. Okay, now it's time to do a hard close. And I used to do paragliding. Don't do that. It's a dangerous sport. Sometimes I overshot the landing place. Okay. I overshot. I had to make an emergency landing. I just pulled everything I had. Bam, hard landing. I landed safely. My body wasn't hurt. I could do it. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend any hard landings, but you got to do what you got to do. So the hard landing sounds something like this. Hey, I know it's late, but the signs I see is nothing happening here. And I believe from my experience, it's a lack of management commitment. I'm not sure what you've done so far, but I assume you want to make it happen. So would it be impossible to get in front of your CEO, CFO, the person with the priority and the money? And if your champion says yes, okay, I want to thank you for all the work we've done together. I really hope this will close one day, but it doesn't seem it's closing right now. So, yeah, let me know when you got that management approval, the direction, the budget, and let's talk soon. Bam. You shoot yourself out. It's a hard landing. But, if nothing happens, everybody's going to get disappointed. And by the way, the only thing that you have that's not replaceable, you can make more money, you can buy a new car, you can find a new job, you can find a new boss, whatever you can do. That's material. You can replace that. Actually, our cells in our body is being replaced in certain time period. So I'm not the same person I was 37 years ago. I replaced myself so many times just by nature. But the one thing I can never replace, it's time. It's called time. The minute I spend with something that will never happen, it's a lost minute. I know in sales, we never know really. But if you know we can't get access to the CEO or the economic buyer, and you tried everything, all right, except for camping outside their doorstep. I tried that too. It works sometimes. But if you tried everything, nothing seems to happen. Save time, do something else. Get your kids from school or call another customer, find another opportunity. And maybe that act can make it happen, but most likely not. But at least you're working on something that could happen. And you don't spend your time chasing a white elephant in the jungle that will never close. So, sum it up here in this live video. All right, we got a champion wants the solution, needs it for their own work. We got the economic buyer who are looking to create more value in the organization. The linkage is that your project, the project from the champion, will make that value. You need to talk to the CEO, you need to talk to the economic buyer, you need to create that linkage between these two dimensions, and you need to be the person in between the champion and the economic buyer, ideally physically. And if that doesn't work, you can do it in virtual meetings. But if you don't do it, I would say it's whatever, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, sometimes even 100% chance there will be no deal. And if you do it, you know, it's going to be your best day ever. I wish you good luck.